Hello everyone, welcome to the first part of my Kingdom Hearts 2 Randomizer tutorial series. Today's video will be explaining the randomizer for Kingdom Hearts 2, providing a walkthrough on how to install the randomizer for the PC version and PCSX2 emulated version of the game, and some quality of life tools to install alongside Rando to help keep track of your progress. Firstly, to explain what the KH2 randomizer is, for the most part, it's shuffling the allocation of rewards such as magic elements, drive forms, maps, proof, armors, summons, and much more. In combination with the Garden of Assemblage mod, which allows you to visit any world from the get-go, the fun of the randomizer is you can go anywhere from any point at any time, and never know what you're going to get from a chest, boss, level up, and much more. Generally, the goal of the randomizer is to find 3 proofs scattered across the world to open the door to Kingdom Hearts and defeat the final boss Xemnas. However, there have been many more win conditions introduced since the Rando's inception, but I'll explain and explore those in future videos. So let's crack on. If you want to jump ahead, you can find timestamps in the description as well as all relevant downloads. So let's get started. Regardless of which version you plan on using, PC and PCSX2 Emulator both require 3 essential downloads, so let's start with those. Firstly, go to your browser of choice and type in kh2rando.com. This will redirect you to this shown screen. This website is a central hub and amazing resource for up-to-date KH2 Rando information. You'll find lots of guides and information here about every aspect of the randomizer, so feel free to have a nose around to learn more about the Rando after this video. For now, we want to head to the download page. Once there, click the link to download the C Generator, OpenKH Mod Manager, and right-click Open Link in New tab to download .NET Desktop Runtime. This is just so you don't lose the page. After that, navigate to wherever your downloads are and open Windows Desktop Runtime Installer and go through the usual installation process. Next, you'll need to decide where your mod manager and C generator are going to be. For simplicity's sake, I'd recommend a folder in your desktop or documents, but the choice is up to you. Personally, I'm going to create a new folder in documents and name it KH2 Rando. Once you've created a new folder, open it up, and once in there, create 2 new folders, one named OpenKH and the other named C Generator. Then go back to your downloads and export the OpenKH Mod Manager zip into the OpenKH folder, and the Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix Randomizer zip in the C Generator folder. You can do this with the built-in extract in Windows or using software such as WinRAR or 7-zip, whichever is easiest for you. At this point, the setup process for PC and PCSX2 emulator diverges, so if you're looking to set up Rando on PC, continue watching from this point, but if you're looking to set up Rando on emulator, skip ahead to the timestamp shown on screen. I'll also display text on screen to make it clear which version the steps are relevant for. So for PC, you'll need to ensure you've run the game at least once. This is to ensure that all the necessary files have been created and set up by the game itself. If you've already run the game before, I'd recommend verifying your files and then rerunning the game just to ensure everything is working as it should be before we hook everything up. After this, go back to the OpenKH folder you created. Scroll down your extracted files and locate openkh.tools.modmanager.exe. Open that and you'll be presented with a first time setup wizard. Change the game edition to PC release via Epic Games. Then, click the folder icon and navigate to your KH 1.5.2.5 installation folder. By default, this should be under C Drive, Program Files, Epic Games, KH 1.5.2.5, but this will differ if you have installed the game elsewhere. Once you've located it, hit Select Folder. Moving on, hit Next and you'll see an option for installing OpenKH Panacea. Do perform this step and install it, then hit Next. The next option lets you launch the game through the Mod Manager. I recommend leaving this checked to save you time launching your game in future. Lastly, you'll need to extract your game data for the modifications to work. This will require about 23 GB of space, so ensure you have room on your drive. After you hit extract game data, it should take between 5 to 15 minutes, and once that's completed, hit Next, followed by Finish. Congratulations, you've set up the Mod Manager, so let's install the first mod. Click the green plus icon and either copy and paste this from the description or type this message in yourself. kh2fm-num/GOA-ROM-Edition and hit install. Once that's done, tick the checkbox next to the mod to enable it. Now for the final step to make your game Rando ready, go back to File Explorer and head to the C Generator folder you created and open the KH2 Randomizer application. In the top left, click the Configure drop-down and select Lua Backend Hook Setup PC Only. Completing this pop-up is the final step to making your game ready for Rando. Firstly, click the Browse button and locate your OpenKH folder that we created earlier. Once there, hit Select Folder. You can leave the mod mode selection of Panacea Mod Loader as is. Then, click the Check Configuration button, followed by the Download, Install, Configure button. If all's gone well, you should get a confirmation message. And there you go, your game is now ready to play 2FM Randomizer. The next step will be to create and play a Rando seed, so please go to the timestamp shown on screen, as I will now begin the tutorial for setting up Rando on PCSX2 Emulator. So a few prerequisites for playing Rando on Emulator. You're going to require a clean, unpatched ISO of KH2FM and a PS2 BIOS. However, I can't provide you with either of these for legal reasons. But once you've obtained both of these, you're good to begin the setup. Firstly, let's download our emulator. Go back to the KH2 Rando page you left open. Scroll down and click on the link for the PCSX2X installation guide. And once the new page is loaded, click the link that says PCSX2X to begin the download. This is a version of PCSX2 with added support for Lua, which is how the randomizer is going to be loaded. Also, if you intend to play controls that have X as attack instead of circle, then download the special panache. However, if you want to play with Japanese controls, ignore this step. This version of PCSX2 doesn't actually have a specific installer, so you can really extract the files to wherever you want. For my own personal preference, I'm going to put it in program files in its own folder called PCSX2X. Once extracted, when you launch the program, one of two things should happen. The first, it will throw errors due to missing plugins. This is because you haven't had PCSX2 on your machine before, but these are simple enough to resolve if you follow the instructions. Or it will boot up as normal because it picked up existing settings from the PCSX2 you already have on your PC. There's only one more step in PCSX2X to make it Rando ready. Simply click the system drop down and enable cheats and Lua engine. This is the only time we'll be going into PCSX2X this tutorial, so feel free to set up all your graphics settings, controllers, etc. while you're here. Of course, you can always change them later. Just before we move on, if you want English controls instead of Japanese, move the panache file we downloaded earlier to your Documents, PCSX2, Cheats folder now. Now we need to set up the mod manager. Go back to the OpenKH folder you created earlier. Scroll down your extracted files and locate openkh.tools.manager.exe. Open that and you'll be presented with a first time setup wizard. Change the game edition to PlayStation 2 using PCSX2 Emulator. Then click the folder icon and locate your PCSX2 exe. Next, you'll need to locate and select the KH2FM ISO file. You will then need to extract your game data for the modifications to work. This will require about 3 GB of space, so ensure you have room on your drive. After you hit extract game data, it should take between 5 to 15 minutes, and once that's complete, hit next. The final step is select your game region. If you'll be playing with English controls and English text like me, go ahead and select the relevant English region for you. Obviously, I'm very much British if you couldn't tell, so I'm selecting the UK menu option. After that, hit next, followed by finish, and you'll have successfully set up your mod manager for Rando. So let's install our first mod. If you're playing the game in English like me, click the green plus icon and either copy and paste this from the description or type it in yourself. Rikysonic / languagepack-en and hit install. Then click the checkbox next to the mod. This will translate our game from Japanese to English in real time. If you're playing in a different non-Japanese language, replace this mod with the appropriate language mod. Now, for the penultimate step of making your game ready for Rando, once again, click the green plus icon and either copy and paste this from the description or type it in yourself. KH2FM-mods-num /GOA-ROM-Edition and hit install. Then click the checkbox next to the mod to enable it. The final step will be to move the Lua file provided with the mod to our PCSX2 scripts folder. To do this, click on the GOA mod, then click mods and open mod folder. Locate the GOA-ROM Lua file, Right click and copy the file. Go to Documents, PCSX2, Scripts and paste the file in this folder. It should be noted, until specified otherwise in the description, every time you update your GOA mod, you will have to replace your existing Lua file with the new Lua file, as currently this is the only way to load the script on Emulator. And just to clarify, that is an Emulator exclusive issue. On PC, the Lua file will automatically update. Regardless, you're now all ready to play Rando on Emulator. So let's open up the seed generator and create our first seed to make sure everything's working. Head to the seed generator folder you created and open the KH2 Randomizer application. So I unfortunately won't be going into too much detail on the seed generator in this video, due to the newer version of the seed generator coming out with a few more features quite soon. But in my next video, once the new version is out, I'll be diving in and explaining all the settings as well as the hint systems available in the generator. Regardless, with your first seed, I recommend playing on the Starter Settings preset. You can find this by clicking the preset drop down and choosing Starter Settings. This preset of settings has been made specifically for people just starting out in Rando, so the game will start you off with better tools, more generous experience modifiers, and removing more difficult sections such as the data battles and the Cavern of Remembrance from the Rando pool. You can see what will be randomized by clicking on the Rewards Location button. Anything not highlighted will simply just have junk in them, such as maps and synthesis items. So to download our seed, simply hit the Generate Seed button at the bottom, and save it where you'd like. Moving on, to install our seed and test the randomizer, head back to OpenKH. Click the green plus icon, click Select and Install Mod Archive, and select the newly created randoseed.zip file. Check the tick box next to the mod and double check your load order. The randomizer seed should always be the highest priority unless specified otherwise by another mod. So if your load order is the randomizer seed, followed by the GOA mod, and for emulator players, followed by the English language mod, then you're ready to launch your game and try out Rando for the first time. To do this, simply hit F5 and the game will launch. To be safe, since it's our first time playing Rando and we want to make sure everything is working, it's best to check if your scripts have loaded. For PC, hit F2 in-game. It should bring up a pop-up window that says the scripts have loaded successfully. For emulator, go to the PCSX2X program log, scroll up and check to see if it has found the cheat file as well as the GOA Lua scripts. It's also normal for this message to appear twice. If yes, then everything should be working. Double check the seed hash from the seed generator matches what's displayed in game. If that's a yes, then that's that. Your setup is finished and you can play Rando as much as you want. And just in case you want to be sure, I'll show off some footage of how your game on how your game should open. And to access the worlds, simply use the relevant portal based on the icon. This will send you into the world like it was your first time visiting. Now technically the next step is optional, but if you want to make use of the hint systems in Rando and have a much easier time remembering where you found certain important checks, you're going to require the KH tracker, so let's get that installed. Go back to the downloads page on the KH2 Rando website and click to download the item tracker. You can launch this straight from your downloads if you wish, but I prefer to keep everything in one place, so I'll be moving the tracker to its own folder in the KH2 Rando folder we created in the beginning. Once you're happy where it's placed, double click to open it. Unfortunately, similar to the seed generator, I won't be going into too much depth on the tracker due to a new version of it being released in the near future. However, I'll go over the basics so you have enough of an understanding for your starter settings seed. So to begin, this tracker allows you to automatically keep track of important checks that you find throughout your seed. You can see what important checks are available in your seed by looking at the icons below the worlds. The number of important checks vary depending on the seed setting. As well as this, the tracker is compatible with multiple hint systems, and hint systems have been designed to give you a sense of direction and can stop you from wasting time completing an entire world that is potentially finished in the first 3 chests. The starter settings is using the Shananas or Shans hint system, which is the simplest of all hint systems. Whenever a world has no more important checks, the world will turn blue. In my opinion, this is the ideal hint system to begin with. The first step will be to load your seed into the tracker, so simply drag and drop the Rando seed zip file in the application. As you can see, the number of important checks updated, as well as the question marks next to the worlds becoming numbers. As we can see, Beast Castle is already blue, meaning there are no more important checks there in this seed. However, every other world has at least one more important check in it, and once we collect all the important checks in a certain world, that world's number will turn blue. Now that you've loaded the seed into your tracker, it's time to hook it up to the game. The first step is to boot up your game. Once it is opened, click the options drop down, hover over the auto tracking option, and select the platform you're playing on. Now this application will begin tracking your game in real time. I'll do one quick demo of the game and the tracker working together, so you may get an idea of what it will look like for yourself. If you have any questions or run into problems, feel free to leave a comment and I'll do my best to get back to you. Alternatively, join the KH2 Rando Discord and ask for assistance in the help channel if you need help as soon as possible. The community is always quick to help people fix any issues they're experiencing, so don't be a stranger to the Discord. I hope I was successful in getting you started in KH2 Rando. If this video was helpful, I'd really appreciate a like. I intend to upload many tutorials for Rando in the future, such as routing and modding guides, so if you want to keep up to date, consider subscribing to the channel. Most of the footage seen today was taken straight from my live runs on Twitch, so if you want to see some Rando runs live, check out my Twitch at twitch.tv/KairiSG9. Thanks for watching, and may Lady Luck bless your Rando runs.